So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me. simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
Welcome to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, where in a single moment you can recognize your brilliance and change your life. This is a transformational hour that covers an array of topics that demonstrate how individuals use their native talents, of course as shown in their name, to look at the ordinary in extraordinary ways. Now, Albert Einstein once said that everybody's a genius. Why would one of the smartest people on the planet declare that everyone is a genius unless he knew that to be true? I'm your host, Sharon Lynn Wyeth, creator of Namology Science and author of Know the Name, Know the Person. And in each weekly show, you hear the fascinating ways other people have discovered the genius in themselves and what they were able to accomplish. At the end of tonight's show, you're going to hear clues on how you can recognize your own innate genius. Now, all over the world, people have many, many diverse interests. And in that vein, people have asked about different occupations, different areas of life that have highly interested them. People want to know how highly successful people have managed to achieve their genius mindset by utilizing the gifts that are seen in their name when we use namology science. So how does someone express their creative talents, and how does someone share those gifts with others in such a way that all benefit? Our expert tonight is Suzy Prudden, who has developed her genius in the areas. Now listen to this, guys. It's just not one or two areas. It's in physical fitness, it's in acting, it's in speaking, it's in writing, and it's in publishing. She is so accomplished, and you guys are just going to love her. I'm going to give her such a short intro because we're going to hit all these areas so that you guys can all be wowed with her as I am. So Prudden formerly served as an expert for the President's Council on Physical Fitness and has an extensive history of television and radio show appearances. She's appeared on more than 1,000 shows in the last 40 years. These shows include her own serial shows and also the Oprah Winfrey Show and Good Morning America. And her own series was The Patchwork Family. So, Suzy, that's where we want to start. Welcome to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You.
Thank you. Wow. I have done a lot. The Patchwork Family, my God, that was in the early 70s.
I know, but that's kind of like at the beginning, and then everything just kept blossoming and blossoming.
I know, it really did. And actually, it started out in the 50s when I used to do the Today Show with my mother, Bonnie Prudden. And that's when Dave Garroway was doing it live, and we did 2 shows because it was before they had the connection with the West Coast. So we would do one East Coast show, and then an hour later we would do a West Coast show.
Well, it just amazes me of how you've kept growing through different careers, literally, and mastering them, and then picking up a new career. It's like there's no grass growing underneath your feet.
Don't have time. I keep reinventing myself, and then I have to catch up with myself. Because it's like, oh my goodness, I just reinvented myself. Now what am I going to do? And I have to follow through on what I created. It's actually very exciting. Sometimes a little stressful.
Well, yeah, but that's what keeps us going, right?
Yes, yes.
So, Suzy, I want to start with acting, and I'm going to just do different parts of your career and different parts of the show tonight, if you don't mind. And that is, I just want to start with acting because that's where it all started for you. So your mom pulled you in with her, and then how did you go out on your own? Give us the story.
Well, my mother pulled me in as a child. when I went to college, I wanted to be an actress. And so that's where the acting comes in. And I had no intention whatsoever in going into fitness. It was absolutely not on my radar. But my mother made a mistake in that she forbid me to date the boy I was dating. So I married him.
No dating necessary.
Well, you can't tell a kid you can't see that guy because he was my husband by then. And he went back to school. I was young. It was, how old was I? I was 19. And then I had to figure out how to support him because he went back to school. So then I wanted to have a baby, and I couldn't do that and have him in school and work as a secretary. So I decided to start my own business. You have to look at the logic in all of this. There isn't any. And it just seemed like the only thing I could do. I mean, if you're going to have a baby, put your husband through college, you can't be a $90 a week secretary. This is in the 60s. And because my mother was the nation's foremost fitness authority, and because I knew how to do fitness, I started a fitness school on the Upper West Side in Manhattan, New York. And after I'd been teaching for 2 years, and I had like 2 classes a week, we barely made it, somebody called me, and I just remembered her name yesterday. Her name was Faye Levy. She called me up, and she said, "Do you teach toddlers?" And I said, "Well, I have a toddler, and I teach him, so yes." And she said, "If I brought a group of kids to your house, would you teach them?" And my attitude has always been say yes and figure it out. So I said yes. And then I called my mother. And I said, "Mom, what do I do?" And she said, "Keep them busy." That's all she said. So these kids came to my house the following Thursday. They paid me $10 a piece. And I kept them busy. I could handle maybe 20, 30 minutes. Toddlers are not easy, especially toddlers who've never been in a class. Say that again?
They're not. They're not easy.
No, because they're curious and they want to look and they want to explore and they're anxious to do all these different things. And I had to keep them busy. When you teach a toddler, you have to change an exercise every 10 to 15 seconds.
You know what? That's like when I was teaching in the elementary schools. The youngest that they gave me was 3rd grade. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I don't know how these teachers do it. And younger than 3rd grade, I thought they had to be archangels to keep those kids so busy and occupied, because it was a challenge for me at 3. I thought I can do 4 and above. But anyway, go ahead with your story. So with the toddlers, what did you do to keep them busy?
But it's true. But what happens is, if you approach them correctly, they really want to do what you want them to do. And what happened in New York, first they thought I was crazy. And with every career, they thought I was crazy because I've been a pioneer over and over again. And then what happened is the schools started calling me. And they started asking me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm teaching exercise." "No, what are you doing?" "I'm teaching exercise." "No, really, what are you doing?" "I'm teaching exercise." Because what happened is the kids that were coming out of my school were more educable than kids who didn't come to my school. We had, now this is Manhattan on the Upper West Side, I had children driving in from Connecticut, from New Jersey, from Long Island, all to come to my school on the Upper West Side, because what happened is the kids that came through my school, you could get into a nursery school in New York at age 3 more easily if my name was on the application. And I ran that school for 18 years. And during that time, I had my television career and my book career, and everything started there.
And it all started with those toddlers. That is just
It all
amazing.
started with the toddlers in my living room. Yep.
That is so cool. And I'm sure that after they got disciplined, constantly staying busy and trying to do what you were giving them to do, that then they were easier to listen and already, in a routine that, hey, you've got to listen to the adult and then do what she says.
Well, what I did was I taught success. And I never let a child not be successful. And by doing that, when they went to school, they automatically knew that if they did what they were told, they would be successful. And that's how it worked. And it really did work. And it was exciting because these kids were like, all they wanted to do was show me another trick, show me another trick, show me another trick. Because then they knew that if I showed it to them and I worked with them, they'd be successful, and it felt good to them.
See, that is just so cool. Okay, this is the part of the show where we interpret a portion of our guest's name. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Suzy, first of all, your name says that something has to be fun or you don't want to do it. Okay?
That's true.
Okay, it also says that you have a very short attention span. So the fact that you needed to change everything that quickly for the toddlers was probably about your same speed that you wanted to keep changing things anyway. So
my son complains about that all the time.
You know, and then it says you're going to do things your way. You don't want to do things like everybody else has done them. You want to do them your way, and that's in your name. And another thing that's in your name is your likability, that you can fit in with any crowd that you want to fit in. The real key is, do you want to fit in? And also in your name, it says you can learn anything from anybody as long as, you know, they're laying the foundation and you're learning the foundation. Because once you know the foundation, you want to take off and you want to do the rest yourself. And that you don't have any patience waiting for an answer. So you want your teacher right there. But the minute you've caught on to that foundation, it's like, how fast can you get rid of the teacher? All right, go away, leave me alone, don't micromanage me. I'm good. Thank you very much. Out of here.
This is very true.
It also says in your name that you've learned how to have a wonderful memory, that you're here to use your power of persuasion and influence with other people, and that truth is highly important to you, that once somebody lies, you don't want to have much to do with them.
That's true, too.
So those are
I have no use for them.
Right, once they lie. And it also says you have a nice rebellious spirit. You know.
This is true, too.
I love it when people have a rebellious spirit because it means they've learned discernment. So we need to take our first break. Stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is being heard on xzbn.net and X Zone Radio Broadcast Network, and on the website, knowthename.com. Now, after the break, we're going to find out more about this physical exercise program of Suzy's. Stay tuned.
Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X Zone Nation, Keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shamans worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is being heard on xzbn.net and knowthename.com. Now, our guest tonight is Suzy Prudden, whose website is ittybittypublishing.com, and we're going to talk more about that later. Okay, Suzy, I am quoting what Oprah Winfrey said about you. She said, in order to heal in your relationship with your body, you have to go inside. The answers are all in Suzy Prudden's Change Your Mind, Change Your Body. So talk to us about how you got involved with Oprah and what is this Change Your Mind, Change Your Body?
Well, the interesting thing is, okay, I wrote a book in 1989 published by Hay House called MetaFitness, Your Thoughts Taking Shape, where I talked about how the body and the mind are always communicating, and the body is basically a message machine, constantly sending messages to you that if you listen, you can heal your life as well as your body. At the time, this is 1989, people were not yet ready to hear that, but Oprah was. And she really liked that. And I had absolutely nothing to do with Oprah's weight loss, nothing. We talked about the power of the mind and body when I did her show. Well, what happened on her anniversary show was she's talking about how her weight loss anniversary show, she was talking about, I can't even remember, but the last thing she said was, if you want to heal your relationship with your body, you have to go inside, get Suzy Prudden's book, Change Your Mind, Change Your Body. But I hadn't written it yet.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I know. I'd written MetaFitness was about changing your mind to change your body, but I hadn't written the book, Change Your Mind, Change Your Body. And Oprah really knew that my book was about changing your mind to change your body, and so she said that title. And I'm standing in my bedroom watching the show with my jaw on the floor, and I thought, well, I guess I better write the book. So I did. It was published by Harper San Francisco, and it really is a book about how you can work with your mind. You have to work with your mind if you want to change your body, but you have to listen to your body because it's always telling you stuff that you need to know. For example, a low back ache, besides being a body problem, could mean that you're having issues with finances. If you have an issue with your buttocks, and you think they're too big, too small, too whatever, and you're not okay with them, the buttocks represents power. So perhaps you have an issue with power. So that's what those two books were all about. And Oprah was fascinated by it because it had nothing to do with what you ate. It had everything to do with how you thought.
Wow. So you mean all of us who have what I teasingly call shelves for butts, that means we have big power?
It means you have power issues.
Means we have power issues.
So
okay,
it could be it could be that you're not using your power. It could be that you're afraid of power. It could be that you're overusing your power. It's an opportunity to look at your relationship with power and to heal that relationship. Once you heal the relationship with power, the butt doesn't have to talk to you anymore so loudly. So if you want to lose weight in your butt, it could be easier to do so. And some people complain because they don't have a butt, and they could have an easier time creating one.
I was just going to ask about those that have no butt. So it's still a power issue.
Pardon me?
So it's still a power issue. I wanted to go to both extremes. So let's say
it's still a power issue. But it's you have to talk to yourself. You have to look at your life. For me, I never liked my rear end, ever. And I was upset with it most of my life. And once I started creating these processes, this sounds so funny, I made peace with my rear end. And then I didn't have an issue. And then it became the shape that I wanted. But I didn't go out of my way to do that. It happened. And that's what I tell people. It's like when you heal what your body's trying to tell you, the body heals.
So, I think that I love the fact that you chose the butt as one of your examples, simply because when I was in Mali, Africa, we'd be walking down the street and comments would be made in a language I didn't understand, but my daughter did, and she was translating for me because she was over there in school. And she'd translate, she'd go, "You just got a compliment on your butt." And we'd walk a little further, and somebody would say something, and she goes, "You just got a compliment on your butt." And all the way through, and finally she says, "Mom, when they say something and I don't translate it for you, they're complimenting your butt." Because, like in different areas or different countries, you've got leg men or men that like the breast or whatever. But over there, it's really important. They like butts. Yeah. So I thought that was just funny that you picked that. Now, so many men have beer bellies. So what does the belly represent?
Intuition and the opportunity to pay attention to your gut feelings. So a lot of men disregard their intuition, and so the body is screaming at them, "Hey, bud," no pun intended, "pay attention. You know more than you think you know." And if they start paying attention to their intuition, it's also how they digest new ideas. And for women, it's the same. If you have an issue with your stomach, your belly, it's really, are you following your intuition, or are you being led around not following your intuition? And when I talk to people or do workshops on this, and I'll ask them, "Do you follow your intuition?" People will say sometimes no, and I'll say, "And how does that work for you?" They say, "No, every time I don't follow my intuition, something that I don't want to happen will happen." I said, "Well, wouldn't it be a good idea to start following your intuition?" And it's very hard for some people.
Well,
it's like trust your gut.
Yeah, trust your gut. Well, what do they say? That we have three minds. You have the heart, which is a mind, and you have the brain, which is a mind, and then you have the gut, which is a mind. So that's interesting. Now, Louise Hay said about you that Prudden's message is both new and simple. Learn to love the body you live in. It feels good, and it's fun. I've seen Suzy take a skeptical audience and within 3 minutes turn this same group into a happy, smiling, eager, and enthusiastic gathering. Everybody loves working with Suzy, and so do I. Quite a compliment from Louise Hay. So you have 3 minutes.
We had a lot of fun together.
How do you turn an audience in 3 minutes?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's a script. And I've been doing it since the 80s. And one of my coaches asked me to do what I did for his group. What I do is I get in front of the audience in a chair, and I put on the Pointer Sisters jump, and I tell them to do as I'm doing, and I get them moving. And I get them moving to the music. I get them out of their heads and into their bodies, and all of a sudden, in spite of themselves, they're having fun. And they start to smile. I turn every group that way. I can't say every group. There are some groups that just are determined not to smile. I think they have a very unhappy life. But what happens is people just start to smile. And I had a very interesting experience 2 years ago. I was a speaker at a Suzanne Evans conference, and they gave me the worst time in the entire conference to speak. Friday night, 7:30, people coming back from dinner. I had 8.5 minutes. I wasn't properly introduced. And I thought, okay, this is a test. So I pulled a chair up. I had them key the music. And whereas it usually takes the after-dinner speaker 5 minutes at least to get the audience in their seats, I had the audience in their seat and doing the music, doing the exercises within 1.5 minutes. And it's a script. I use it every single time.
That's fabulous. Now, you were saying that it was really fun working with Louise Hay. Now, she has her famous books out analyzing or correlating, I should say, the body parts with the emotional and then an affirmation. Did you share some of your ideas with her? Did she share hers with you? And how did that work?
We were friends. And here's how I got to publish with Louise. I met Louise at an organization called the Inside Edge. Interesting, I'm speaking there in March. They've been around since the 80s. We used to meet at 6:30 in the morning at the Beverly Hills Hotel, dressed to the nines. That's where Jack Canfield started, Mark Victor Hansen, Barbara DeAngelis, Louise. I started long before that, but I started doing the work with the body-mind at that time. So I met Louise. We were speaking together, not on the same stage at the same time, but on the same stage at different times during the meeting. And we liked each other. We sat next to each other at breakfast, and she invited me over. We became friends. And we started exercising together at my house twice a week. And one time she was doing a move, and she said, "Oh, that hurts my hip." I said, "Okay, you're the genius when it comes to this area. What does that mean?" And she thought about it. She said, "Oh, it means this, this, and this." I don't remember.
You have a hard time moving forward.
Pardon me?
I said hips represent, by Louise Hay's books, a hard time moving forward in your career.
Well, maybe she was facing something. I didn't go into it. None of my business. But I said, why don't we do a video? I'll do the exercises and you do the affirmations.
Okay, hold your thought right there because we have to take another break. Stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which is being heard on xzbn.net, an X-Zone Broadcast Network station, and on the website, knowthename.com. Now, this show is dedicated to helping people learn what all the possibilities are to work with your body and with your mind. Stay tuned.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You. Our guest tonight is Suzy Prudden, who can be reached via her website at ittybittypublishing.com. Now, Suzy, before the break, you were telling us about how Louise Hay would come exercise with you and twice a week, and you decided to do a video together. Please continue.
Well, then we decided to do a book, and then we decided to do 2 audio tapes, and that's how it went. When I say Louise and I had fun together. We played together. We worked together, but we were friends. So it was a different relationship than when someone comes to Hay House as an author that's a stranger. And that worked both positively and negatively for me because people got jealous. And so it ended up being not a good thing, but while it lasted, we had a really good time.
Deepak Chopra said about you, based on trusting your inner intelligence, Prudden's program is logical and straightforward, and most important, it works. Did you have to document, or did people just naturally rave? You know, how did that work? And how did you find out about Deepak Chopra?
Well, I knew, everybody knew, well, everybody, not everybody, my circle knew Deepak. And my mother was very funny one day. She said, how on earth did you get a testimonial from Deepak Chopra? I said, I asked him. And that's a very important thing for everybody listening to the show right now. You do get what you ask for if you ask. But if you don't ask, they don't know that that's what you're looking for. So I was at a conference at Asilomar up in Northern California, Monterey, was a Church of Religious Science conference, and Deepak was teaching there, and so was I. And he was in the green room, and I said, hi, Deepak, I'm Suzy Prudden, and Louise has published my book, and I wanted to know if you would do a testimonial. And he took my book, and he did. I mean, it's that simple. You just have to ask. Now, there are people who said no. Dan Millman, I have too many stories.
The Peaceful Warrior guy. Yeah.
Yes. So I love his work, and I was at the Inside Edge in San Diego, and I was sitting at his table when he was speaking there, and my intention was to jump up, run around, give him a hug, and tell him how much I admired his work. Well, my feet got caught in the chair, and by the time I turned around, he was standing behind me. He gave me a big hug, and he said, I just want you to know how much I admire your work. Who knew?
That's great. Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
very
know.
well known for his series of books, too.
And I really love his work, I asked him to do a testimony. He said, I really don't do them, and then he did it.
Fabulous. See, that is...
Again, you have to ask. And not from a place of ego. It's just, I have this really good book. Would you mind, would you do a testimonial for me? And if they know you, as he did, and they respect you as he did, then it's likely that they'll probably do it. If someone walks up to me and asks me to do a testimonial, if I know them, like Nan Fuchs asked me to do a testimonial on one of her books years and years ago, I was so honored to be asked because I really respected her work. And so, of course, I said yes. She said, really? It was fun. It was like, well, yeah, I respect your work. And that's a key. And people ask me to do testimonials, and I don't know you, I probably won't do it. But if I do know you and I do respect your work, I probably will do it.
Well, I loved your story, Suzy, on how you met Louise Hay, because that's very similar to how we met. You know,
yes.
we're
exactly how we met.
You know, So I love that. Okay. So you became a winning international speaker. So how did you take what you were doing with fitness with these kids and turn it into being a speaker that was recognized internationally?
I changed my program. I sold my business, and then I became a body-mind pioneer, and that's how I did it. I didn't do fitness. I do my warm-up where I get the audience moving, but that's 2.5 minutes. I spent 6.5 years working with Carolyn Mace, and I would travel with
her too.
Oh, she's wonderful. She's phenomenal. Yeah. I spent 6 years traveling with her, and my job was to do the energy breaks at the breaks, which meant at the break on Friday night and at the 3 breaks on Saturday. After the break, when the audience came back in, I did a 2.5-minute exercise routine to get them back in their bodies, and then I would do a 2.5-minute hypnosis process to have them remember and retain everything that they were learning at her event. So what the subconscious mind does, it follows instructions. I didn't tell them what to remember. I told them to remember what was important to them from what they were learning at the event. And people told me, who went to a lot of her events, they stopped taking notes because they knew at the end of the program I was going to do, or during the program, I was going to do that. So it was really fun. And then I just started traveling all over the world. I spent a lot of time in Holland. They're very, very open to this kind of thing. And I used to do workshops and seminars in Holland, in France, in Switzerland, and Portugal. And it's all magic. People would show up at the right time.
So when you started so long ago doing fitness, right, it almost sounds like you were just lucky that you were always at the right place at the right time. Would you say that, or did you really put some effort forward to make sure you were at the right place at the right time?
I had no clue. I had no clue. I sold my first book at a cocktail party in East Hampton in 1971. That doesn't happen anymore. It was William Morrow. The editor was a friend of the host. They weren't buying the book. They were buying my name, Prudden. I knew that. I didn't care. I was getting a book. The only problem was I didn't know how to write. So the good news is my husband did. And so for how many books? 9 books. He wrote the books. I did the program. And then he was afraid of flying, so we didn't fly. We didn't do tours for the first 3 books. Finally, when Workman Publishing was publishing Spot Reducing, which is the bestseller, this is before the Internet, I said, if you're not going to go, stay home. I'm going. And we did a 18-city tour. It was a bestseller. And from then on, we toured. We traveled. And with every book. So he would do the books. And then after I divorced him, I wrote my first book alone. That was a scary process, but it was great, great fun. And when I was writing books, I wrote them out by hand. Then I typed them. Then I literally cut and paste them. And then I'd retype them, and this would go on 3 or 4 times until I had the book the way I wanted it.
Wow. That's not
But I was always, but you're right. It was magic. I was in the right place at the right time. That's really it.
And you interacted with so many others, including yourself, that are so known in their own fields and in their own areas with their own gifts and talents, and all on the spiritual, but involving all 4 bodies at the same time.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, for me, it's nothing to talk to somebody who's famous. I grew up in a household that was famous. So it wasn't like, oh, my God, this person is so important and I'm a nothing. Oh, no, this person is important and so am I. And that's important for everybody. We all are important.
And everybody has something to share, and everybody has something to offer. I always, when I do name reading, Suzy, I always make sure I am sharing those gifts and talents with people, and then showing them what they could be doing with those gifts and talents, because I think it's so important.
I agree. And when I'm working with someone working on an itty-bitty book, I show them how they can turn that book into a 6 or 7 figure business. a lot of people say your book is your business card. I disagree with that. I think your book is your business builder. And if you use it correctly, you can really, really, really make a difference. One of my authors went from making $100,000 to $750 a year using his book as a business builder. And that's what I like to do. So what I do the same thing. It's like I'm a visionary. I see beyond what is. And then it just channels right through me. And as I'm telling the person what they can do, all of a sudden they see it. And then if they're willing to follow the steps to get it, they get it.
That's fabulous. When you say you channel it right through, do you feel like you just suddenly know things?
Oh, yeah. What happened, I've been coaching for over 40 years. I was coaching before people knew what coaching was, and I have marvelous teachers at the time. And I was working with a client, and as she was talking, I was thinking, oh, my God, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And I heard this little voice. And the little voice said, just get out of the way, Suzy. Just get out of the way. And so I did. And I started talking. And as I was talking, I was watching my words. And they were things coming out of my mouth that I didn't know. And so I knew that I was not alone in that room.
That you were totally tapped in. So we need
Yep.
to take our last break. Stay tuned to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You on xzbn.net and knowthename.com. Now, after the break, we'll find out what Suzy has in her name that has assisted her that you just might have in your name as well. Stay tuned.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me.
SIMULTV.com, sonny boy.
SIMULTV.com.
SIMULTV.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
SIMULTV.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. SIMULTV.com.
Welcome back. I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, and you're listening to Know the Name, Know the Genius in You. Our guest tonight is Suzy Prudden, whose website is ittybittypublishing.com. Now, she's taken her skills to a level where she's able to not only succeed herself, but help others around her succeed in what they're wanting to do. And so, in other words, she's earning money literally from helping and making sure that others are also improving their lives and earning their money. Suzy, before we get started, I really want to do in this segment about Itty Bitty Publishing and what you're looking for and how you can encourage people to contact you if they want to do an itty bitty book, because those are just amazing. And you've written 12 books now, right? Did I have the number right?
Yes.
Okay, 12 books. But before we get started on that, I want to know if you could change one thing about people's understanding or how they look at the world, what would that be?
Oh, that's a great question. Understanding of the world. It's a better place than they think it is. There's so much opportunity for people. There's just so much opportunity, and if people would step outside of themselves and look at the gifts that they have. And this is I was talking about this at lunch today at the mastermind that I was in. And we were talking about the mess that we create in our lives, and everybody's got a mess somewhere. But every single mess is a gift. And if you can find the gift in the mess, then you can live a very, very fulfilling life and stop beating yourself up for the stupid stuff that we do. I've done so much stupid stuff. And I look at it and say, okay, so where's the gift in what I just did? Or where's the gift in this experience? I think that's what I would say. Find the gift in every...
When I have paid for something and I've totally messed up, I have often said, this piece of knowledge that I have just learned cost me that much money. So hang on to that knowledge.
Yeah,
the money's already spent, right? So you're very positive, though, Suzy. I love that about you. So how do you maintain that positive attitude?
I don't all the time.
I love it. So honest.
The alternative is not fun. It really isn't. I mean, it's not fun to be depressed or angry or feeling bad. And interestingly, and this is another very important thing for people to know, anger is an addiction. It creates a neurochemical that people become addicted to. And so they very often create situations in their lives which will cause them to become angry so that the addiction can be served. So if you're an angry person, take a look at what makes you angry. Some people, it doesn't take anything. They could just stub their toe, and all of a sudden they're screaming. Anger is an addiction. Love is an addiction. Hate is an addiction. It creates a neurochemical. So look at yourself and see what you're creating in your life, and ask yourself, do I want to keep creating this? Because if you do, you will. And I just, that's a little shake-up call, so to speak. Because we get to be right about everything. And I ask my clients, you get to be right about everything. What do you want to be right about?
See, that's interesting. I think addiction is the negative news on the news medias.
That too. It is. And because it riles you up and it creates a neurochemical, and pretty soon your body is wanting that neurochemical. So you have to really be careful about what is it you're creating in your body, because you can become addicted to it. See, and you can change it.
Yes, of course. Okay, while we still have time, I want to hear about Itty Bitty Publishing, how you determined and you wrote your first Itty Bitty book, and what the Itty Bitty series is all about, and if somebody's interested and they meet what criteria you would give them before, with their ideas and everything, before they would contact you?
Contact me now. You can do it on my website, Itty Bitty Publishing. That's 2 T's and Itty, 2 T's and Bitty, publishing.com. Or you can call me, 310-640-8885, 310-640-8885. And the way Itty Bitty was created, my sister took my name off one of my books. And it was an itty bitty book that we wrote because a coach said, write a small book. I was in the weight loss industry at that time. We wrote a quote-unquote Suzy Prudden's itty bitty weight loss book. We bought the obligatory, this was in 2006, obligatory 2,000 copies. I think we have 1,800 left. And I said, I think we need to change the cover. Could you change the cover and make it smaller? So she did. And in doing so, this was such a funny moment. In doing so, she took my name off and put Your Amazing Itty Bitty Weight Loss Book. And I'm looking at the book, and I see my name is off the book. Now, I have an ego. And my ego went, I don't know if I like that. So I said to my sister, do you really want to take my name off? And she said, it doesn't matter to me, which was brilliant. And I looked at it again, and I thought, well, this is $1 million business. We don't have to write all the books. 4 days later, we were in business with Itty Bitty. 2 weeks later, we had our first author. And 6 weeks later, we had our first published book. Itty Bitty is the new Dummies. Dummies books are 350 pages you have to read with a yellow highlighter. Itty Bitty books are the yellow highlights. They're 30 pages, 15 chapters, 2 pages per chapter, and every chapter looks the same. And what it is books by experts about their expertise in such a way that we keep sending people to your website. It's a marketing tool. And what we want to do with Itty Bitty Books is, as a standalone, give people important information that they need. As a marketing tool, keep sending people to your website, to your workshops, to whatever it is you're doing, your podcasts, so that people find out who you are and want to work with you. So our aim is to make you more successful through your book, not as a business card, but as a business builder.
See, that's just fabulous. And I love those itty bitty books. And then I've seen sometimes you put the itty bitty books out when they're first coming out. It's like 99 cents a book. So who would not want to buy one and get one?
Well, we do Amazon bestseller campaigns for all of our authors. We've done 50 so far. We're doing our 51st this Thursday. We've done 50 Amazon bestseller campaigns when you can buy the book for 99 cents on Kindle. And we have 50 bestsellers. And I believe in supporting my authors, again, so that they're successful. And then I'm a business strategist because I've been in different businesses for the past 40-some odd. I'm 75. And I just get ideas. And so I said, well, why don't you try this or try that? And if they do and it works, I say throw it up against the wall. If it sticks, keep going. If it doesn't, try something else.
I just think that's fabulous. So on all of these 2 pages, and they're small pages, aren't they? I mean, because it's an itty-bitty
book.
So about how many words is every 2 pages or every 1 page?
Do you know, I almost started counting them today because I knew someone was going to ask me that question again. It really depends. It's not a lot. The books are small. They're 7 by 5, somewhere around then. And they're written, page 1 of every chapter is written in numbers, numbered sentences, and numbered paragraphs. Page 2 of every chapter is done in bullet points. We are very, very specific in what we want with our books because people don't read, and we want our authors to be able to get the maximum from their commitment to the book, and we want them to really get business. It's all about getting business, sending people to your website, creating a podcast, creating a webinar, creating a seminar. I have a woman, Kat Bonzak, who wrote a book about marijuana that she didn't know before she talked to me. She didn't know she was going to do it. And I said to her, with all the things she did, what's the low-hanging fruit? She lived in Washington State. She was a marijuana dispenser, and she told me that I knew it was marijuana. She said, I don't know. I said, it's pot. Why don't you write your amazing marijuana book, 15 Ways to Use Cannabis for Healing? She said, how did you do that? I said, that's what I do. is that I take an idea and I say, okay, now she has a cannabis coaching program. She made $92,000 in a weekend.
See, that's just incredible. I'll tell you, Suzy, it is just a joy to have you on our show with us tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your time with all of us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
My pleasure, and I hope to see you shortly.
I hope to see you too.
Be prepared, surprised, and pleased when you experience Suzy Prudden's work. Her website, again, is ittybittypublishing.com. And as she said, you can also call her if you would like to write an itty-bitty book. And her number for that is 310-640-8885. Again, it is 310-640-8885. And she loves to help her authors get these wonderful best-selling books out there on these great topics and do it in an itty-bitty style. Suzy's name excels at being able to have fun and to do things her own way. Now, this is found in the letters U for fun and Z for doing it her own way. So if your first vowel in your first name is a U, you have that short attention span and you just love to have fun. And if you have a Z somewhere in your name, it says that you too like to do things your own way. Do you know where your genius lies? I'm Sharon Lynn Wyeth, host of the radio show, Know the Name, Know the Genius in You, which can be heard every weekday at various hours right here on xzbn.net radio and X-Zone Broadcast Network and on knowthename.com. So tune in to hear the fascinating ways other people have discovered the genius in themselves and what they were able to accomplish. In every upcoming show, you also hear clues on how you can recognize your own innate genius. And remember, you want to visit knowthename.com because my third book is out and the ebook version is absolutely free for you. So know the name, know how to connect. You can get for free. So contact at knowthename.com. This is Sharon Lynn Wyeth signing.
They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Ellie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie, natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide.
You have heard of the X-Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.